Hey everybody, welcome to a special edition of No Vacancy News Today. I'm here at the studios for Kohost, an exciting new program that we're going to be learning a little bit more today in Las Vegas. But to do that, we're going to talk about innovation in hospitality and why you out there need to start thinking about the next generation of hospitality technology. And that's why I have with us Dr. Robert Rippey of Blackfire Innovation. Dr. Rippey, I saw you last December over at the studios. That was pretty cool. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Glenn. Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to see you again too. So you're all about innovation and hospitality, right? And I kind of feel like we're at this nexus point right now between ye olden days, the before times, and where we're headed now in technology. So how are you focused on creating innovation with hospitality technology over at Blackfire Innovation?
It's a great question, and your thesis is spot on. We are at a nexus. Technology and the application of technology has accelerated. The need for it has accelerated in this post-pandemic economy. And so our facility at Blackfire, which is really kind of a laboratory, if you will, where we look at what does the next generation or the future state of this industry look like, and allows us to explore those technologies and ideas in a very controlled environment where we're not, interacting or interrupting a real guest. It's too risky to do, or having to do something in the midst of a high operating cases most hotels are.
Right. That makes sense. And it really gives people, especially those hospitality insiders that are making the decisions, to really be able to see some of these things play out in their earliest forms. I know the good folks over here at Kohost are going to be showing off their innovations with you at Blackfire. So how important is it right now, if you're a hotel owner, to think about investing in new technologies?
Well, it's going to be the source of competitive advantage for hotel owners, because it's a level playing field in most sectors right now, especially with, demand had been suppressed for so long and it's now coming back, that those who can change the experience and make the experience, remove the friction points, more enjoyable, are going to have a decided advantage over their competitors. And in this kind of marketplace or in this industry, that's fundamental to that owner and the financial performance of their assets. So
yeah, that's absolutely right. And fundamental, doctor, is the word that you absolutely have to use, because right now, in this post-COVID era that I hope we're heading into, it really has become a story of the haves and have-nots. And to be able to remain competitive, you're going to need the edge. You're going to need to be able to find the right types of technology that are both going to help lower operating costs while enhancing the customer experience. Am I right about that?
Well, you just took the first lecture out of my innovation lab. I mean, that's exactly what I said.
And I wasn't there, I swear.
Yeah, and you've not been my student. I'm pretty sure of that. But that is the key. I mean, if you can find innovative ways of applying technology, especially emergent technology like IoT, and you apply it in a way that allows the operator to significantly reduce their operating costs, or, as you said, enhance the guest experience, which ultimately correlates to increased revenues, that you are changing that dynamic. And as I said before, giving them a competitive advantage over their nearest competitor that doesn't have those. So I think that's key. And it's especially important now because everyone's gone through a crisis period of horrendously depressed profit and revenues, and they've got to recover, and they've got to recover quick. And they want to be able to move into a leadership position during that recovery.
And I'll tell you, doctor, some of the things that we're going to be seeing during this recovery period, it's you do want to save big dollars, but a lot of times it's going to start to come down to small incremental improvements. Even it's that like 1% thing. If you just get better 1% at a time, 1% at a time, that's going to be helpful. And I don't have to tell you hoteliers out there what you're already experiencing. It's costing a lot more money to run your properties, while simultaneously it's starting to become a little bit more difficult to keep charging the rates you've been hoping to charge. So I think, Robert, that's where we come into play with some of these technologies. That's what I really like about what these guys are doing over at Kohost. They allow the customer to be able to control the in-room experience while also providing a lot of insight and savings to the owners. What have you seen so far with this particular technology?
So there's not a lot of competitors in this space. I think they're very unique, and they're kind of have a well-tested product. I was amazed when they demonstrated it to me, and that's when I invited them to come over to Blackfire, because I thought, what perfect place could there be than this kind of hotel of the future to demonstrate and showcase and further develop their technologies.
Right.
But I think the underlying value
Mhm.
proposition that they've created by removing that friction points to allow the guests to spend more of their valuable time having fun,
Right.
experiencing, doing business, whatever they're at the hotel for, and less time trying to deal with cumbersome but very routine things that we do. So I liked what you said a few
Yeah.
seconds ago about sometimes it's a small improvement,
Yep.
but it's a small improvement to a big problem.
Yes.
You know, and if you can do that, I think you're going to gain that edge immediately.
And this is also one of those technologies that I think it's essential for success, that it's invisible to the guest. It goes through your phone and you're able to open your door with it. You're able to control your lights, your television, all elements of the room with something that we're all comfortable with. Unfortunately, doctor, I was just staying at a really, really great property here on the Las Vegas Strip, but I was confused on how to use the in-room technology because it came from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I can't see the little letters on the walls like I used to either. So to have something that is like this in your hand is great. But the question I have for you now, doctor, is what is it really doing for owners of the property as well?
So as we said before, there's several that kind of are formulaic to the owners. Can it affect operating costs? Can it allow them through the use of technology to run a more efficient HVAC system?
Right.
You know, if there's nobody in the room, do you need to cool it to 70 in the summer and warm it to 80 in the winter if it's completely empty for 6 hours?
Right.
You know, no, you probably don't. You can warm the room in the summer and you can let it get cooler in the winter,
Mhm.
and adjust it as the guest is approaching the space. So there's no
Right.
experience change to the guest. I think you take that and multiply that by the number of rooms in a particular hotel on a daily basis, times 365, times their occupancy, times their energy cost, you immediately see the savings. There's an energy efficiency savings.
Right.
That's very tangible to them. That's also a big marketing point, right? Because we're doing something that's affecting the environment. We're purposefully using less electricity.
Right. And that's good. And speaking of the sustainability effort, I remember pre-Great Recession when the sustainability and green movement was really taking off.
Mhm.
The issue was they weren't necessarily doing it for the right reasons. They
Right.
were also doing it because it was smart economically to start investing in these things. They start to understand that you spend a little money today, you wind up saving a whole lot of money in the future.
Yeah.
And with the prices of energy that just go up, up, and up, just that one component sounds like it's a real win.
Yeah, I think so. You know, that's probably one to zero in on. There are going to be many others. We talked about customer satisfaction. There's a correlation between satisfaction and average daily rate.
Mhm.
It's fairly well studied and established. There are others that are even unknown at this point that will emerge when you introduce new technologies like this, that you discover that it may be a factor of joy and or happiness, that, you know, I just feel better because I'm
Right.
doing this, right? And I like smart rooms because it allows me to focus on doing what I'm there to do, which is, you know, conduct business for a trade show or to have fun in a destination like Las Vegas.
Right. I like having fun in a destination Las Vegas. And it's nice to know that one day in the future, when my room is operated by Kohost, I could just hit a little button on my way out or on my phone, and those shades will come down, and I won't have to worry about returning to a room that's hotter than the sun, which has happened to me at certain casinos on the Las Vegas Strip. Dr. Robert Ribby, any final thoughts before we wrap up with you today?
No, thank you for having me. I think this is a very, very interesting technology, very interesting application. They demonstrated it to me. I was immediately enamored with it, to the point that I felt this really had a place in our lab. And, you know, we've got over 90 technology partners associated with that lab, and they run the gamut from names that you would instantly recognize to smaller companies like Kohost that one day will be one of those names. So, you know, I think this is the future. And we've built an entire ecosystem about innovation, particularly for the hospitality vertical. This is going to play a very big part of it. I think they'll be a great partner in that lab, and look forward to having them there.
Dr. Robert Rippey, thank you so much for being here. And for all of you out there, remember, technology is the key. You want the right technology. And what we discussed today is the right technology is one that makes those guests happier, winds up making them even more loyal while saving you money at the same time. I encourage you guys to go check out Kohost. You can find them at kohost.io. Kohost is spelled with a K, I'm Glenn Hausman. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.